Good morning, and thank you for watching us here at Palos Heights Community Channel 4. My name is Carol Steffen, and my guest to my left is Christine Sudreth. She's from PLOWS Council on Aging, and that's what we're going to deal with again. We've had kind of a series of talks on PLOWS and the different facets of PLOWS. We had gone the first time maybe 2 or 3 months ago, actually, over to the site itself, which is here right on Route 83 in Palos Heights, and met with Ken Grunke, am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Ken Grunke, who's the executive director, and we had a session with him and had a look around at the processes that they do, the people that they work with and for, the volunteer staff that they have, all the various parts of PLOWS is amazing. It's just amazing that how deep it goes and how wide, and it's been around for about 44 years.
Yes.
I think, and it's going strong. And we're going to, the first time I think we met, as I say, with this Ken Grunke, and the second time we had a guest here, and she was, I have to read it because I don't remember, Valencia Maitan.
Yes.
She's a supervisor of adult protection services, and she dealt with, we talked about elder care, elder abuse awareness, scams aimed at the older adults, and we talked about the role of the caregiver. So we've had some interesting topics dealing with PLOWS, and we continue today, because today we're going to talk about something that it's just kind of hard to believe: hunger, social isolation.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So I'm going to throw it at you now, honey, and you go and tell us.
Sure.
Yeah.
People don't think about social isolation when they think about older Americans. They assume that you retire and everything is as it appears on the television commercials, where people are out and active and bike riding together with their spouse. What we need to come to an understanding of is that's our ideal, but in reality, there are a lot of people who are confined to their homes. There are people who have a spouse who are still socially isolated because that spouse is unable to partake in different activities with them. There are older Americans who live with family members, but you've got the kids who are playing the video games and the parents who are working and they're in and out. So again, they are socially isolated. And along with that, for those who are not living with family members, can come hunger. There are multiple reasons that we find that seniors are hungry these days. Part of it can be financial. They're not able to afford the groceries. Part of it can be that they don't have transportation, or they're not aware of the transportation services that their town or township will offer to them. And it can also be a matter of not going to the grocery store because you can't maneuver the cart. You can't get there, you can't walk through the aisles. Your shoulders don't allow you to lift your arms to get those groceries. You can't stand at the stove. And some of it is just persons cannot take care of themselves the way that they thought they would be able to, and they don't know where to turn for help for that.
How do you find PLOWS? If I was at home and I had a problem with myself or my mother or relatives, how do I know about PLOWS?
We are trying to do more community education. For instance, coming on the Channel 4 television shows, we're sending out more press releases. We hired Jen Pedersen as a marketing person, which may seem like something that a nonprofit should not do, but we need to get the word out. The purpose is to get the word out so that people use our services to benefit them, because our goal is to keep the older American in their home as long as it's possible.
And PLOWS is an acronym. So tell me what PLOWS, because that's a territory that you cover. So tell me what the PLOWS stands for.
So PLOWS stands for Palos, Lamont, Orland, and Worth Townships. At one time, we were also covering Stickney Township, but they are their own entity at this point. Okay. So it's Palos, Lamont, Orland, and Worth Township in suburban Cook County. We can offer services there, including the home-delivered meals. And when we talk about hunger and isolation, it's important to realize that the home-delivered meals can give persons a source of nutrition, but they are also helping to prevent the social isolation. Every day, somebody shows up at the door to deliver those meals, and we have wonderful volunteers who do that. We're also in need of more volunteers. So one of our goals through our marketing is to reach people who are home, who are available to come in the morning. We have moms with young children who will come into the office, and they will take those young children out. What greater thing for an older person to open the door when they've been by themselves for a long period of time, and here are these smiling faces at the door with a meal and checking on you to make sure that you are okay today.
A meal, is it a meal for the day? Or, I mean, is it lunch, dinner type of thing? What do they bring?
The persons in PLOWS service area can get 2 meals in a day. One is a hot meal, and it is looked at by a nutritionist to make sure that it covers all the bases. So there are starches, there are meats, there are vegetables, usually some type of a fruit. And then they can get a second meal, which is a cold meal. So maybe a sandwich, salad, things like that. And then they will also receive milk with that.
And who prepares these meals?
We have the meals professionally prepared by a caterer. So all we need to do is get the count out per route. We pack them up, and then our wonderful volunteers come in, pick up those cases, and simply go from home to home in their jurisdiction, and they will deliver those meals.
Does anybody follow up with that, Chris, as far as a full refrigerator? I delivered meals at one time years ago, and I would sometimes go in and put the meal in the refrigerator and saw how many was still there from the day before, or how the milk was backed up. You know, does someone check on that refrigerator, or if it's being eaten?
The volunteers do not go into the home.
Okay.
However, our case workers are constantly following up, and many times the older adult will tell us that, you know, let me stop my meals. This one meal is carrying me for 2 days, because the appetite does tend to diminish as we age. So they'll usually let us know, but no, we do not follow up on that.
Okay.
If you are entitled to a meal, you are getting the meal. And the more important aspect of it is you're still getting checked on.
Okay.
If that meal stacks up there, so be it, you're getting checked on, because if we don't deliver for a day and something happens, we would feel terrible about it.
So what's the positive aspect of having home delivered meals, other than someone's checking on you, you're eating well, they're being thought about? You know, I would imagine they'd enjoy the company that rings the doorbell.
Yeah.
Any other positive things?
Absolutely. We consider home delivered meals a gateway program, because a lot of people are resistant to senior services. They don't want anybody coming into the home, any type of social service. People don't want other people looking into their lives.
Sure.
And there's a lot of misconception that when you get involved with any type of a senior service, that we're going to work to get you out of your home, that your neighbors are calling and filing a report because they want to buy your house for somebody that they know. That is absolutely not true. Older adults are key to maintaining the stability of a neighborhood, and we know that. And if your wish is to age in place, then you should be given every opportunity to do that. So in addition to the meals, you're getting the visit, and you're also assigned a caseworker. And the caseworker will tell you about all of the programs that you are qualified for. So if you were to call our office and the caseworker comes out, they do the assessment, they determine that you are eligible for the meals, which, by the way, is not financially based.
Okay.
A lot of people have that misconception as well, that when you get into social services, you have to be a low-income person, and that is not true. With many services for multiple people.
That's very important.
It is. So the meals, it's if you cannot obtain proper nutrition for yourself, whether it be a physical need, whether it be a financial need, whether it just be lack of transportation. And they also recently took out the homebound stipulation. You used to have to be homebound.
Really? Okay.
However, we know that you may have kind neighbors who will take you to the doctor and take you here and take you to the group that meets over at the Palos Heights Club. So you're not necessarily stuck in your home all the time, but there is a reason that you cannot provide proper nutrition for yourself.
Okay.
And a lot of times we will get involved with people being discharged from the hospital or discharged from rehab, because you're not 100% just because the doctor says it's okay for you to go home. So we can provide meals for a shorter term that way.
So if someone comes home from the hospital and said, now I have to make arrangements, do they call PLOWS and ask for someone to come out and talk with them and give an overview of what's available to them?
Absolutely. A lot of times we will see these clients in the hospital. We are contracted with Palos Hospital, Advocate Christ Medical Center, and Little Company of Mary Hospital. And we have caseworkers there on a daily basis, and they visit people who are being discharged. They will do the preparatory paperwork to get them into rehab if that's necessary, or we will tell them about the services for them to go home. We're also trying to expand that service so that we can go to the rehab centers as clients are being discharged, because again, that doesn't necessarily mean you're back on your feet and back to your old routines. So we can offer services for a short period of time and say, you know, let us take care of the meals because your doctor said it's 6 more weeks before you can drive.
Okay.
You're not able to do the stairs, so let's get the meals in there. And again, it lets people know we're here to keep you in your home. We're offering support services. We're not taking over everything that you've done. But the caseworkers will continually follow up. And we do have a volunteer who makes calls to people to just say, how are you doing? How are the meals? Are you eating them? So that is one of the ways that we look at that.
Well, that's good.
Absolutely.
You know, it's hard to believe in this land of plenty that we live in that hunger is a problem.
It is.
Yet I know I got picked up some information. These are amazing statistics if you want to address those a little bit.
Sure. 1 in 5 Americans is 60 or over. In PLOWS jurisdiction, we have the second highest number of persons over 70. And we also have the second highest number of persons who are isolated. And when you are older and you are isolated, again, that adds to the hunger count. So we've got about 9 million seniors throughout the United States who are hungry every day.
That's a staggering number.
It is. It is. But if you think about it, Carol, there were times when you would have the older adults in the family live with the younger generation.
Yes,
that doesn't happen as much. They either don't want to leave their homes, the home isn't big enough, financially the children are not able to care for the parent. So you've got a lot of that. We have more people who are choosing to remain single. So what is their support network? We're offering the support network for that. And you've got people who just get depressed. If you are in your home and you're very lonely, you get depressed, can you get to the store? Well, for you or I, we're going to say, oh, sure, you just get out the door and go to the store. But if you're depressed, you can't physically pick yourself up. It manifests itself in a complete blockage of your ability to do different things. So yes, you are going to be hungry. And it is a shame because we look at how much produce and that is thrown away. I mean, we've got a great farmer's market here, and I'm thinking that a lot of people don't realize that if you are on the SNAP card, which is the nutrition supplement, you can use that at the farmer's market and they will double. If you want to spend $15 or less, they'll double that amount every single week. You go to the community tent and you give them that SNAP card and they will give you some, it's either a coin or a voucher, and you spend that at the farmer's market as you would cash, but it's double the amount.
That's a very important piece of knowledge. The SNAP card, tell me what that is.
The SNAP card. So in addition to doing the meals, if we know we have seniors who are getting the meals because they're low income, they can come into our office and meet with our advocates, and our advocates will work with them to do the food stamp application. It's been called many things through the years. Food stamps is the original name. But now it's like a credit card, and it's a senior nutrition program. And I don't know the dollar amounts off the top, but the criteria is different for an older adult. So you don't have as many hoops to jump through to get those cards. And it may be a small amount, but if you walked into the store and I said, Carol, here's $15 or $20, go buy yourself some meat, it is the difference between that. And we also take into account the other programs. If you come in simply for the SNAP card, then we can look at the overall picture of finances. You don't even need to have a caseworker or be a PLOWS client for advocacy. You can just walk in, we'll assess the entire situation, and we'll say, did you realize that you can get the license plate discount? Did you realize that you qualify for Medicaid? And whether you use it or not for medical, it will be way to pay for your medications. So there are all sorts of services there. But again, going back to the meals, that's a gateway program, and let us get the meals to you so that you're not hungry. Let's stop that hunger there, and then let's start looking at the different programs that can supplement that. And again, we do rely on volunteers for that. So we're always looking for volunteers. Volunteers deliver the meals. Volunteers are our advocates who assist with the application process for the other programs as well.
Chris, who funds you?
We have multiple funders. We will apply for any grant that is available that we feel that we fall under. So we have a CAT Foundation grant. We have a grant from the Lamont Women's Club. We have federal funding and we have state funding. And then we have some funding through United Way, mainly because of our home delivered meals program.
Okay. Do you have fundraisers per se? At all?
We are starting to develop fundraisers.
Okay.
We do have a sponsorship program. It used to be that we had an ad book for our annual luncheon in which we honor outstanding senior volunteers in the community, but we have changed that to sponsorships. But we're also looking at the different programs we do through the year, and we are going to ask people if they are interested in sponsoring that. What we will not do is allow, say, an attorney. An attorney cannot pay us a sponsorship to put on a program in our name. It has to be a program we develop, and then we will go out and get sponsors.
Okay. It's just amazing. I went through the sheet. In fact, we'll leave this sheet for Channel 4, and perhaps they can put it on in some fashion. But there's so many things that it's just, I guess I just don't think about it, and I've been very blessed, so I don't need to think about it. But it's important that you know about it. Perhaps a neighbor, perhaps a cousin, an old aunt, someone that's there in need, and there is help out there. Now, you have to live within this particular area, but say if I lived outside of this area, can I call PLOWS and find out perhaps there's something in the area that I'm interested in?
Yes. There is a senior agency for every part of the United States. So in Will County, it's Will County Senior Services. Stickney Township Senior Services. If you go into the LaGrange area and that, Aging Care Connections. But we have a list of all those services, and then we have an 800 number. Say that you live here and you're seeing this program and you're concerned about a parent who moved to Arizona or Florida to retire, and you just want someone to check in on them. You can go to the government website and you can call PLOWS for that information, or you can call. You need the zip code. And when you get the zip code, we will let you can check and see what is the closest agency, and they may not offer all of the programs that PLOWS does because we are a premier full service agency, but they will tell you where to turn for assistance.
You're such a fount of information. Do you have speakers that go out like to maybe different groups in the area?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will go out and give general topic presentations, but again, Valencia will go out and in August, when we have National Night Out, we will have our adult protective staff at different events, and I will be speaking to the Orland Park seniors that day. I come out to the Palos Heights senior group. I come out to the women's clubs.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got someone who can talk about housing.
So if I wanted to book you for a club, I would just need to call PLOWS and say I'd like someone to come out and speak about your programs?
Yep. We have a general number, 708 361 0219. Every single call gets filtered through that number. So if you call 708-361-0219. And we also have a website, which is simply www.plows.org. And now you can find us on Facebook.
Oh, really? Okay, because we'll put all that information up on the screen on this tape.
Yes.
It's just an overwhelming. I know there's a sheet here too about volunteers. You're always looking for volunteers.
We are always looking for volunteers. Okay. It is critical that we have a full service volunteer staff. And our volunteers, some of them simply want to come in and make copies, but we're hoping to use their experience at a higher level. So we have volunteers who come in and fill out Medicaid applications. We have volunteers who are trained by the state for the SHIP program, which is Medicare counseling. And we have a large number of volunteers for home delivered meals, but that number is starting to dwindle. So we are really hoping that people will hear our message. It only takes 2, maybe 3 hours a week to get meals to people.
Really?
And we're also looking for substitutes. If you say, well, I can't commit on a regular basis, but if you call me, I'll check my schedule and I'll make myself available next Thursday and I'll come in and deliver meals. And we do have set routes. So you're trained with a person. All of our programs, you are trained by a person in our office, unless it is a program like SHIP where you have to go to the state level. But we do run background checks on our volunteers. Our volunteers, we make sure that they have a reliable auto and car if they are doing the home delivered meals, so that our clients are not left without anything for the day. And we seem to keep our meals drivers, especially for a very long period of time, which tells me it's a very fulfilling program.
Yeah, it is. Sure, it would be. How about, did I ask this before, how about donations? If I wanted to give a gift in somebody's name, is that
Absolutely. We would accept, obviously, bequests if you want to leave a legacy gift. And we're in the process of developing an honorarium and a memorial gift program as well. And we're starting to look more to corporations to say, we're serving family members. Carol, if you were with your daughter and she had just had a baby and she needed assistance, you would probably step in and help her, or son. And if you were working and you had a child, everybody would be bringing you gifts and saying congratulations, and neighbors would be dropping off casseroles. When you are a family caregiver, all that goes by the wayside. So one of our goals is an initiative to educate corporations about the caregiver services and to make them aware that you may have a reliable worker who in their 50s, early 60s starts taking off more days or needs to come in a little bit later because they're caring for a parent or they're caring for an aunt or uncle, or maybe they're helping a neighbor. So with that re-education process, we will be looking to corporations to say, can we develop a program with you that in turn may lead to some funding? Do you have a foundation arm you can refer us to? Things like that. So, and we encourage people, if you are donating, check with your company and see if they have a matching gift program.
Sure.
Because that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll put bits and pieces together, and the more bits and pieces we can put together with the funding, the more programs we can offer.
Chris, is there a general piece of a pamphlet or something that gives, I certainly wouldn't entail all of this information, but how would I, or our listening audience, watching audience, be able to get a hold of a pamphlet? Can they call PLOWS?
They can call PLOWS.
Okay.
They can look. Jen is very good about posting things on our website. We have a document that was just revised called One Call Does It All, and it's a very good explanation of our basic programs. And on a daily basis, we are updating Facebook.
Okay.
So you can see the upcoming programs. A lot of those are the caregiver programs. So if you are a stressed out caregiver, we will teach you self-care. But in order for you to even know about it, with your Facebook, a lot of people are on it, and it's kind of a quick way to get the information that you might need. But you can always search our website, and then if you call our office, I'll be happy to send that out to you.
You are a fountain of information. Thank you for visiting us here
Thank
at Palos Heights Community Channel 4. PLOWS is an amazing organization, and we have it located right here in Palos Heights. And they do amazing work. Look it up. Is there a history posted somewhere? Can you?
There's not a history.
There's not a computer thing that I can.
No, but I do know Oak Lawn Library has scanned all of our newsletters. So you can go into their archives and you can call up our newsletters. So we were started as a grassroots agency by community leaders. We had the Ozingas involved, the Hawkinsons involved, and other community leaders in the Oak Lawn area who saw a need for these services. They got together. The 3 people who were the first 3 employees actually recently retired, all within the last 4 years, which is amazing that somebody has that type of longevity in a single position and really built up this agency. And now we're taking it even bigger and further in new directions. So yes, if you go to the Oak Lawn Library site, you can call up our newsletters. Just type in PLOWS.
Well, we need to keep up with you and with PLOWS, so please come back again, bring another topic, and we'll deal with it. And if you'd like to hear anything more about PLOWS, call Channel 4 and make a suggestion that you'd like to see more about PLOWS or learn more about it. Or just check it out on Facebook or check it out on however you want to look at it. It's such a fantastic, and it's not a thing that's going to come and go. It's been here for 44 years already. It's built and grown and been such a wonderful contribution to the health field and to aged people. And it's not just age. It's not just the older people that you take care of. You also go for, I know, the younger people that need help. Did I read that somewhere?
If for my adult protective services, we will do the investigations and casework for persons 18 and older who have a disability.
Okay.
But when we're talking about older adults, you also take into context the stress on the caregiver. And when you do that, we do work with the caregivers. We have a lot of programs for that. And we do have a program that many people are unaware of called Grandparents and Other Older Adults Taking Care of Children Who Are Not Their Own. Long title, but they're,
you need an acronym.
You know, if you think about it, if all of a sudden your grandchildren showed up on your doorstep, what do you do?
Yeah, really.
What do you do? Do you have the financial means to care for them? Physically, are you capable of it? So we do offer support.
And you have advice, you have an advisor come in?
Absolutely. We have a person dedicated to that program.
Wow. Always a reason to come back, Chris, and talk to us here at Channel 4.
We love to come. We appreciate it.
And we appreciate you viewing us here at Channel 4. And thank you so very much.
Thank you.
And enjoy the day.